Thanks for watching this portion of Garage Logic on our YouTube channel, and thanks to our friends at Everest Men's Health for supporting this. Go to everestmenshealth.com to see if their team can help you with stronger energy and better health. And catch the Garage Logic podcast wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts.
Pat, I got an idea.
All right.
I was texting with the males of the family last night, each of whom was enthralled by watching the White Sox and the Yankees. And you'll note the Yankee uniforms from 1919 or whatever year that was supposed to be are the same as they are today.
Yes, right.
Is baseball, excuse me, is Major League Baseball smart enough to realize what a marketing gem this is? Now, the NHL plays these outdoor games, and they're very charming, but they have very little to do with reality because the average NHL player has never played an outdoor game in his life. Baseball is played outdoors in every hamlet in America, and Major League Baseball is going to be crazy if they don't have Cincinnati play Cleveland at some small town in Ohio.
I'm already texting St. Peter that the Twins are playing at Bell Field in Faribault next
It's got to
summer.
be done. How about the Twins and the Brewers somewhere with overlooking Lake Superior, if there's a ball field there? I don't know what it will take, but I think it would go a long, long way to giving the game a big boost. A big boost. Have two major leaguers play in a state every year that doesn't have a team, like yesterday.
Yeah, that wouldn't be bad. One thing is they spent a whole bunch of millions to build this place.
No, I know.
And if you wanted to buy a ticket last night, the cheapest ones you could get was $1,500.
Right.
And they were up to $3,000. So, I mean, it was a money making thing as it turned out for MLB. I don't know what the TV ratings were. I would have guessed they were the best they've been. They are never very good, but I would guess they're the best they've been. But they are going back next year. I was hoping they didn't murder this thing. You can't have Costner wandering around in the outfield again next year, right? You're going to have to do something.
Right. I say take it to a different state, but then again, as you point out, then you have the financial question that has to be settled.
Well, you just had New Ulm.
Yes.
Spent $2 billion on its two ball fields down there, and then didn't get the state tournament, right?
Well, that's because of the city council in the city of New Ulm.
Yes, but what I'm saying is, great baseball town, great ballpark. I agree with you. You might not be overlooking Lake Superior, but
well, you get the idea. You get the idea.
Give the city, give the state, everybody a state. Milwaukee, all the Germans they'd come to New Ulm one day to play a ball game, and you got 81 of them. You can sacrifice one to play in one of these places. We of course out here in the Midwest, Iowa, Western Wisconsin, Minnesota, we got more of this quaintness than anybody else to offer.
You mean you're saying that the Twins might not be willing to give up a crowd of 10,000 at a Detroit home game on a Tuesday night, Pat? Are you saying that?
No, I'm not saying the Twins wouldn't be, but would somebody else? You got to get somebody to play you.
True.
I heard somebody said maybe the Twins can, they can, think about coming south to play a game. Well, they don't set the schedule. They're not, whoever plays in Dyersville next year will be invited by MLB to be there, right?
Right.
Well, let's just say I thought it was a terribly successful evening. Just terribly successful.
Great.
Yeah.
I thought the guys coming out of the cornfields were okay. We just didn't need 8 minutes of Costner trying to figure out if he could, what we didn't need him wandering around aimlessly. Is he losing it a little bit?
I don't know.
He could barely. Yeah, I don't know. He was wandering around like a drunk. Let's get it going here. Come on.
Speaking of drunk, I have a question. You've obviously been drinking yourself. I didn't realize that you were going to drink the Kool-Aid and be so on board with this, Patrick. Are you on board with this? let me finish. Are you on board simply because it was two major league teams? I'm wondering what Mike Veck is thinking today, because he's got a quaint little ballpark and a scenic. What am I missing?
Yeah, but
here?
he's getting 7,500 to watch AAA. He's fine, right?
Okay.
No, I think what impressed me, Kenny, was it turned into the best game of the year. That's what impressed me.
With the game-winning
If it had
homer?
been, if it had been 3 hours and 23 minutes and it was 12-2, I probably would not have been as impressed. But it was a hellacious game.
All right. Okay.
I just think the game could solve a lot of its ideological problems, which have crept into it, by taking it back to its rural roots, which is legitimate, unlike these outdoor hockey games.
Yeah, that's true. But you got to remember that they basically killed off the Winter Classic as a big New Year's Day event by saying, okay, we're going to have one in Edmonton and one here. We're going to have a stadium. They came up with different titles, and we're having about 4 of them a year.
Yeah.
And playing so much outdoor hockey but this is a little different. Sitting in a small ballpark watching a baseball game instead of sitting in a football stadium watching some little ants down there skating around.
Right.
Which
is why we got the idea.
And trying to see an object that you can barely see when you're standing next to the glass from up in the upper deck. That makes it a little. Yeah.
My brother-in-law volunteered last night at the game. He lives in Waverly, so he drove over to volunteer. And I said, "How was the experience?" He was tweeting out really nice pictures, and he said, "I wish I had stayed home and watched it on TV because he really didn't get to see a whole lot because he's working concessions or whatever."
Well, when there's a Super Bowl here or something like that. And everybody rushes to volunteer. It's kind of fun walking to the stadium and seeing these poor depressed people out there freezing their ass off who haven't gotten with 150 yards.
But I got a coat
But
out
they
of the
got
deal.
a jacket.
They haven't seen anybody. Yeah, they got a stocking hat, a jacket.
Yeah.
They froze their ass off.
Park over there, sir. Park over there. Just take a left. Park over there.
What's on your mind other than this?
Well, I went to the Transfiguration Church this morning in Oakdale. Tom Kelly Jr.'s funeral service was held. He died in January, but with the COVID and the whole deal,
Right.
and he had a lot of friends. They kind of waited, and then they ended up with the Twins having their reunion this weekend. And he worked, he was around the ballpark a lot with those players, so some of those guys wanted to go too. So they had the service this morning. And it was, quite a nice turnout. They probably had 10, 12 players from the 91 team there. And TK was there with his wife, Sharon, and his daughter and her new he's a granddad just about 6 months ago.
Pat, remind me, because I think he was right around my age, correct? Junior.
Who's that?
Tom.
Junior, 42.
Yeah,
42 years old. Yeah, and they still don't know a cause of death.
Wow.
They just play the Walsh boys, his buddies from Hill Murray. He was playing golf with the Walsh family, and he didn't make his tee time, and they went to the Airbnb where they were staying to see what was going on because he never missed a tee time and he was unresponsive. So, and Tom pointed out that in the middle of COVID, you might not have been getting the best effort of the corners down there. So anyway, that was quite a weekend for him from the emotions of this. And then of course tonight and all weekend they are celebrating unless you're a Lynx fan, what stands is our most recent world championship, right?
30 years ago.
Yeah, 1991.
Wow.
1991, yes.
What a
You know who looks good,
Who?
like he could pitch? Rick Aguilera.
Really?
Don't you hate these guys that haven't gained 4 pounds in 30 years?
That's un-American, isn't it, Patrick?
Come on. Eat a sandwich, for God's sake, with a lot of cheese on it.
What now?
Mayo.
He has one of my favorite injuries. Didn't he hurt his back lifting up his suitcase? Wasn't it something like
Is that
that?
him?
I thought that was him. Maybe bring that up this weekend, Pat.
Who's in town? The Tampa's?
The Rays, yep.
The Rays? Yeah.
The Rays, who are, I think they're 6 ahead now in the East. The East is a good division, and this collection of mutts, they're running away with it. Last night they used a, kind of a temporary opener starter and gave up 2 hits. They just run guys out there you never heard of.
I wonder what their road record is, because I have a theory that they're just happy when they don't have to play at home.
Probably.
Well, Joe, they were home 2 weeks ago with the Red Sox, who had been leading all year, and now they were catching them on a Sunday afternoon, so the traffic wasn't an excuse. 17,000.
Yeah, it's just such a miserable dump. It's just terrible.
Yes, it is. They use the bridge as an excuse Monday through Friday.
Right.
But that no excuse on a Sunday afternoon when you're playing the Red Sox, and you can't say it was a nice day in Tampa, right?
Right.
That's the excuse.
The record is
that's why you live in Tampa, right?
Almost identical.
You see the sunshine, so.
Almost identical home and away. 35-22 at home, 35-23 away.
I'll be damned.
Half their relief corps is not pitching too. Nick Anderson, the Minnesota kid, has been hurt all year, and he's one of their aces in the bullpen. And I don't know how they do it. It's they and the Giants are both miracle teams this year. Lamont Wade, former Twin, gave him up 15 home runs and 198 at bats for them.
Well, I'll tell you, are the World Series highlight celebrations that can be taking place all weekend?
Well, tonight they're going to have them sitting out there on that deck. They'll probably introduce them, wave to them, and then I think the boys are gathering someplace for the unofficial party.
I got it.
Copy that.
Is there going to be video of that party?
No.
Tomorrow night is the ceremony, tomorrow night is the ceremony. But Gladdy was at Tom Jr.'s funeral this morning. He looked like he was going on about 2 hours sleep already.
Yeah,
boy, Dazzle.
Don't you hate those guys that still have it? That can still party?
Yes, and he was working hard to get, going to managers and trying to get his guys like Sorrento, who works for the Angels, and these guys the weekend off so they could come in instead of be on the coaching staff. So I don't know if Chili made it, though. I didn't see Chili on the list. I saw Randy Bush, my all-time favorite. He was there, and I said, "They told me you're in charge of Gladden." And he said, that's a duty I could not handle. He said,
we'll talk to you Monday, lad.
What's that, sir?
I said we'll talk to you Monday.
You going to the bank?
No, we're going to take a break.
See you, Patrick.
See you, Pat.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you.